Hello and welcome. My name is Ashley. I am the founder of 3NS. In this video, I'm going to take you through what is 3NS, Web3 naming service. I'm going to run you through the working production level product, through the agent, through the links, through the agent skin, and how it interacts with the blockchain. So without delay, let's get into it. So what is 3NS? So our vision is that the internet is changing. We will no longer go to websites and add to carts and check out. We see this evolution being where you talk to your agent. It does your shopping for you. It handles your bookings for you. This paradigm of Google or some social media driving traffic to a website for it to then be monetized in some way is fundamentally changing. And we see that evolution being Web3, where Web 1 was pages, Web 2 were the platforms, and Web 3 is the agents. But we have a big problem. When you talk to your agent, you are essentially living in someone else's space. The agentic webs actually needs a fundamentally new addressing system, and it must be private. Go ahead and try this. When you next use ChatGPT, just type into it, what data do you collect about me? You will see that is quietly hoovering up a lot of your personal data. Now, used in the right hands, this can be incredibly powerful, but used in the wrong hands, and we're talking about sneaky advertisers, or worse yet, they may manipulate you, and effectively you'll be handing them over the keys to your mind. Now, this is something that we do not want to happen. And so when you're chatting with your LLM, please be aware of the terms and conditions and see that there is invisible surveillance built in. You're handing over your IP and you effectively to these companies. So the solution is 3NS, a domain layer for the agentic internet that is decentralized and private. So it is set up for creators and entrepreneurs and enterprises, but it's not just for branding. It protects your trade secrets, your customer data, your ideas. So let's get into it. Let's have a look at the product. So I'm going to run you through the agent, the links, the agent skin, and Web3, how it interacts with the blockchain. I'm going to start with links. So you go through a super easy onboarding process whereabouts you add your links. I've created a profile here for someone called Mr. Beast. Hopefully you've heard of him. And I've added various different links here, as you can see, one to his YouTube, one to his X, and one to TikTok. Now, what the system does in the background is the agents go away and actually research these links. They incorporate that in its agent's mind. You can add several other links, and we are also adding support for Google Drive and other types of data sources. You then see a preview of a website that looks very much similar to something you'd see on Linktree or DocSend. Now, there are some key differences here in sense that this is a smart Linktree. And with your 3NS Web3 domain, you essentially get a website. And that's very key because we want people to share it. We want them to add it to their socials. And that is, in fact, how Linktree grew. So aside from our referral program, where you get a discount on domain name purchases, you also will be seeing a lot of these 3NS links on various different influencers, and enterprises and small businesses. However, you can also set it up for personal use. For example, I might set up Ashley.web3, which is my digital twin, and I may want to switch off the web page, in which case I can do that, or I may just require a passcode before they access it. Or if I'm selling something, perhaps I want to capture emails before they access my 3NS link website. I can also accept payments, change the layout, and I have an incredibly powerful system. This is essentially the face of your agent. So let's go into the agent a bit more and talk about how it's trained. So as I mentioned, you can add links and data through here, and you can also talk directly to your agent here. So you may ask it, for example, what are the key messages for my customers? Now it will go away and having read all of your links and understood your previous chats, it will then provide a response to which you can then tailor its output. So one of the key selling points for 3NS is the ability to switch models. So without having to have a ChatGPT subscription or a Claude subscription or a Gemini subscription to have to access the latest models, you simply pay as you go. This means that you can access the latest models without wasting your money. So you can kind of think about it like a gym membership. You know, oftentimes you may miss that going to that gym. However, you still have to pay. With AI, it's even worse because these models are evolving faster and faster, and you want to be able to access the latest models, but you do not want to have to pay subscriptions to each of the providers. With a private chat, you can, and with training your agent, your data is kept completely isolated from those different models, and you can also just pay for what you use. So it's similar to like having a pay-to-go membership rather than having a subscription membership to your gym. You'd much prefer to have a pay-to-go, right? So there are also a way to adjust your skin. And I want you to think about all of the artists in the world, and perhaps, you know, the CryptoPunks, the people who like art. I believe that there is, and I am one of those people, I'm an avid art fan. So here I made the ability so that you can change skins. Not only can you change the skin, but you can also come up with your own skin. That means making a video, adding a video background, changing all the colors and the fonts, etc. You can also make this a community skin, give it a name and a passcode, and then when people want to access that, they will then see a prompt to ask you for your code. Now, if you do not have a code, you would need to request it, give an email address, etc. And the creator could then charge for it or collect an email, build an email distribution list. So moving over to Web3. So why do we use Web3 and what is its purpose? So one of the good things about blockchain is its ability to audit. So you can publish, you can connect your wallet, it will ask you to connect to MetaMask. You can publish your intelligence, which encapsulates all of your agent training chats. your customer chats. So as you can see here, you have customer chats. So if I was to share my link here and I was to talk to Mr. Beast, hey, Mr. Beast, what's up? Okay. So if essentially all of those chats will appear here in real time. So it's not actually Mr. B, but he's doing some epic things. Okay, so there you go. There is the chat there. So let's jump back to Web3. So there's some really interesting features here. We were talking about why we are using Web3 and why we are multi-chain. So when you publish your intelligence, you're publishing all of your training chats, your customers, your links, and your skin for those artists and NFT collectors. And you perhaps want to roll back. So what we have found is that especially as intelligences merge, there can be hallucinations. So we want a way to cryptographically record an intelligence at a point in time. So if you want to take your intelligence, you can do, and that comes in the form of a digital asset. This asset is an NFT or an ordinal, depending on what chain you're on. And this asset can then be handed down. So for example, if I created Ashley.web3 and I wanted to give it to my daughter as my digital twin, as my legacy, I could just transfer it to her. If I was a business and I wanted to sell that as part of my IP, I could do, so you could imagine Heinz.web3 encapsulating the secret recipe to ketchup. Having that 3NS, that Heinz.web3 domain, you can then import it. So once you've bought it or you've received the Web3 domain, you can then import it. And this fundamentally changes the use cases for NFTs. No longer are they simply speculative works, they actually contain real value. And going one step further, perhaps you may have heard of Zapier or no-code workflow tools. We are actually integrated with two, one called N8N and the other called Active Pieces. Those are the two largest open source workflow platforms. And there are something like 300 odd plugins that you can drag around. Now, your agent can then trigger these workflows, and these workflows can be something like answer my email, draft a response, add that response to a Google Sheet, transform that into a social media, send that to Discord, etc., etc. So all of these business processes can also be encapsulated within your Web3 domain. So just to recap, there are agents, there are links, there are agent skins, and there is the ability to publish to Web3. Built into as core is the share, and that is similar to Linktree. That is like the face of your .web3 intelligence. Your .web3 domain is a digital asset that can be traded on platforms like OpenSea or Rarible, depending on what chain you elect to take your digital asset. So to wrap up, thank you so much for your time. It's about time that we own our AI, we claim our identity, and we protect our mind. We're in the works of becoming ICANN certified, which will mean that we are G top-level domain providers. We also have a patent pending for our system and method of resolving domain names to programmable agents. Thanks again so much for your time. The web is becoming personal again. This time it belongs to you. Thank you.